Hello, my name is Tanis. I'm a knitter based in the south of the UK, down near the south coast, sort of, kind of, roughly near Portsmouth. So if you've been here before, nice to see you again. If you're new, that's pretty much all you need to know about me. I've got an Etsy shop called Gin Poodle. I have nothing to show you for that, so we won't worry about that at all. Now then, how have you been? The world continues on absolute madness. So we'll just take a break from that, pretend it's not happening, and just do some craft chat. Now, the scarf I'm wearing, I cannot remember the name of. I'll put it in the description box below. All I know is it's a Louise Tilbrook design, and I'm very keen on her patterns. And this is an asymmetric scarf with chevron stripes in it. It's absolutely lovely. It's not the fuss free. It's not the worth the fuss of that thing. Oh, I can't remember. I'll put it in. So, how have you been? Hope all's well with you. I'm making great progress with my Firefly jumper. This is a King Cole design, and I am doing this one. This pattern, number 6446, comes with two designs. This rather smashing cardigan and this splendid top with a very, very deep V, which will become very apparent when I show you where I am with mine. It's knitted flat, which I know some people don't like, but I adore. I've finished the back. I'm on the front. Look at how mad that looks. Oh, it looks so nice in this light. Candlelight, we're in candlelight. This is a front, obviously, with a deeply, deeply deep V. It has quite a thick rib, so it won't be quite so deeply deep when it's all done. So I just need to do that other side, which won't take too long because this bit ends up as being only about 40 odd stitches wide. So it's decreasy all the way up to the top, and then I've got to do the sleeves. I was planning on wearing this to unravel. That was the plan, to finish it and wear it to unravel this weekend. Clearly, that's not going to happen. I'm so looking forward to unravel. So looking forward to it. I absolutely love it. It's my equal, I'm going to say my equal favourite with the Southern Wool Show, which I've only been to Southern Wool Show once and I was blown away by it. It was so good. But Unravel is the one that's closest to me, and it's the one I've been going to for years and years and years, donkey's years, and I really enjoy it. Even if you're not particularly planning on spending much money or buying anything particularly, it's so lovely to walk around, and to be honest, I will be tempted by things. I need nothing, I should buy nothing, there's no more room in this house. But it's just, I just think it's a really enjoyable thing to do. And Farnham is a lovely town. So even if you go and think, I'll just have a quick whiz around here and then have a look around the town, do that, because there are some marvellous places to go and have lunch. It is nice having lunch at Unravel. They've got a really nice little cafe bit. Super busy. I'm yet, in all the years I've been going to Unravel, I'm yet to get a table there. So I do tend to nip out. There's is it called Red Line Court or something like that? There's a really nice little cafe down there, and they do the best eggs Florentine. And there's an independent department store, and they have a haberdashery section, and they do sell some yarn, but it tends to be only commercial yarn, not that great if I'm honest, but it's there. And they have right next door to haberdashery, they have their own little cafe bit, and they do quite pricey, but the best cakes, like super fancy cakes. I don't know if the cafe within it is part of a bigger chain, because it's all kind of branded up, and I've got a feeling it's yellow, but I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it's really lovely outfits, and they have a very good shoe department. You've not come here to talk about shoes. I know. Now then, I don't have any finished objects. I'm just warning you. only whips. So we'll just crack through them. This is my Tanis Laverlee Rocket Tee. You may have seen this, lots of people have them. I'm going to make mine with long sleeves. I've got plenty of yarn. I've got this lovely green Poldale doodah. Oh, there's a bit of fluff attached to your coat. Which came from Witchycraftylady at the Southern Water Show. So it was very reasonably priced. I think it was something like £8 a skein. And I bought quite a few of them. Enough to do a sweater anyway, like a proper big old sweater. So I should have loads. Now this has the most lovely, I really love these increases. Look, on the raglan sleeves, and it's like a little yarn over increases, and you get this nice little spine stitch down the middle. Now I had done, it's striped of like 8 rows, and I had done about 5 stripe blocks, and I was so close to joining the whole thing into the round because the top bit's knit back and forth, knit flat, which is actually my preference. Yeah, but I was really nearly at the point where you join up, but I had made a mistake about where I am now, around here. It was in the fluffy section where I'd gone off piece with my increases. So my spine had travelled off in the wrong direction, and I'd travelled off with it and just carried on. And I was just carrying on a bit. It put my stitch count out a bit, just because, you know, one stitch shifted in a direction that it shouldn't have been in. So I was trying to be mindful that I would need to be careful with counting at that point. But I was finding I wasn't working on it because I knew that mistake was there. And although I was kind of thinking to myself, well, it was actually at the bit that would be at the back, and I thought, well, you're never going to see that, but I'd always know it's there, wouldn't I? And more to the point, it was putting me off knitting it. So I bit the bullet, I ripped it back, I started again, but I didn't rip back right to the start, only to that first, you know, the cast on stripe. So I ripped it back right to this first green stripe, and now I'm off and running again. All of my increases are behaving themselves beautifully. What I also did, I took out all my stitch markers because I think it's pretty darn obvious where you should be doing your doings. Because I find stitch markers do something funny to my brain. And instead of helping to guide me to the right place, they seem to send me up the creek. I don't know why. I'll put, when a pattern needs a stitch marker, I'll keep them in for like, unless it's absolutely necessary, I'll keep them in for like 1 or 2 rows. Maybe, yeah, two rows, maybe 3 tops. And then I'll take them out, because then after that, I can see, you know, you can see where you're going, can't you? And I just find I get myself in a right old tease. I don't know why. I don't know why. It just don't work for me, but I really like them. So I'm tending to head more for progress keepers now rather than stitch markers, because I like to be able to see how far I've got on something since you last saw it. So I'm going to add one in there on that one, and then next time you see it, you'll see how much I've motored through. God, I might even be wearing it. It's not really, that's not true. Now remember last time I showed you this really simple triangle scarf. Although this looks identical, it's its sibling. Not twins, siblings. I finished one and I had a decent amount of yarn left, almost enough to do a second one, about 2/3 of the second one. And so I just cast it on, because it's just the perfect in front of the TV knitting. You literally just garter stitch, which is all squishy gorgeousness, and you slip the first 3 stitches, and I'm doing a knit front and back on the penultimate stitch, and that's it. And there are stripes, so you just mindlessly knit with it. It's so lovely. It's a real sort of like cozy, just, you don't have to worry about anything kind of thing. But anyway, as I said, I didn't have enough yarn to finish it, so I thought, shall I just make it like a little kerchief? And I thought, no, just buy another ball of yarn. So I did. So it's a James C. Brett Shush This is colourway number 10. I don't know if it has a proper name, but the band just says SH10. So now I'm going to end up, I can either make a really massive one, quite tempted, or just make this one and then make like a Sophie scarf with whatever is left of this, or a Sophie type scarf. I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking. But it just was so easy and so nice. I just wanted to carry on doing it. But once I'd cast it off, I was a bit like, oh, I miss that little fella. Because everything else I've got, you need to concentrate on a bit, or you need better lighting, and the mister likes gloom. If he's watching TV or whatever, we have gloom. I do not like gloom. I have got one of those craft light things, Fellamajigs, but it's not brilliant. It's not my favourite thing. I like super bright all the time, whole room super bright, but I cannot always have my own way, and this is a sadness in my life. Now, I am still working on my Samphire socks. Now, do you remember I frogged one of them because on one I'd randomly done an afterthought heel. I don't know what got into me. I did that, but oh no, I know what happened there. At the time when I cast these on, I was in love with afterthought heels. Or no, it wasn't even an afterthought, was it? It was a short row heel. I was in love with short row heels. Since then, I've fallen back in love with heel flap and gusset. Sorry, short row heel, your days are gone. It was fun while it lasted. It didn't last, turns out. So I'd finished that one and started on the second one. And when I did the second one, without thinking about it, I just did the heel flap and gusset. Of course, then I had 2 odd socks, didn't I? I mean, they matched, but one had a different heel to the other one, and I thought it's going to really annoy me, isn't it, when I'm wearing them? So I unpicked the first sock. I finished the second sock, unpicked the first sock, back to the heel, reknit the heel as a heel flap and gusset. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. We're nearly done. This is the second sock, which is now the first sock. I chose the wrong yarn. I freely admit that. There's this beautiful pattern. It's a lace pattern. It looks much more complicated than it is. It's super easy, really pretty. But because I've used I like that. Because I've used a really variegated yarn, and this yarn is also no longer available because it was from I Knit London, Gerard's shop, which used to be near in Waterloo. It's actually Lower Marsh, but that's long gone. I don't think, he doesn't appear to be dying anymore. But it was beautiful yarn. It makes me think a bit of lily ponds. Isn't it pretty? That's the foot, the sole of the foot. Here is that pesky heel flap and gusset. Not pesky, beautiful. So the pattern's only on the top. Oh, look it, isn't it lovely? I did a twisted rib and all that jazz. Right then. So here I am with the second one. You can see my crinkly yarn where I'm using yarn that I've frogged. And I'm going to be interested to find if I think a heel flap and gusset must surely use a lot more yarn than a short row heel. So see this bit in the middle where it's all just like that instead of caked up like that. That's the yarn here that's been frogged. So let's see how close to the end I get with that, or whether I go beyond or if it's the same. So I've got about 10-11 rows left of a foot to do, then I'm on the toe, then they're wearable. Such pretty yarn. I'm still quite upset. I know I say this every time, but I'm still quite upset about I Knit London not being there anymore. It was a fine place. Right. I mean, that's an almost finished object, isn't it? Half off. Not much more to show you now. Oh, no, not much more at all. My Peace Rose Garden Socks free pattern on Ravelry, I believe it was when I got it anyway. using the West Yorkshire Spinners. I'm quite socky, aren't I? West Yorkshire Spinners Mulled Wine. It was their Christmas yarn from this year just gone, I think. And it's a really nice feather and fan pattern. Super simple, really lovely to do. This is the first one of 2, and that's where I was, I think, last time I saw you. Little snowflake progress keeper. Isn't that pretty? I like that a lot. So yeah, I'll move that now, so that next time I see you, it will interest me. And that lives in a bag from, which I actually bought in at Unravel ages ago, Woolen Flower and Stitch Birdie. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's like a tweedy stuff. And these are all like little bits of felt, little circles of felt, and they've all been hand stitched on. You know, that's perfect with Valentine's Day coming up, isn't it? Lovely. Oh, my DPN holder, of course. Sparkly gold from Pickle Lily. The best DPN holders. And I'm using for those 2. On my other ones, my Samphire Socks I'm using 2.5mm. I think I did that because, why did I do that? Maybe I was worried that the lace, maybe I was worried that I'd be a bit tight with lace. Sometimes I can get, if I'm a bit stressed about doing something, my tension goes too tight. And I always feel like lace is going to be really difficult, and then it isn't, because it's just knit 2 together and a yarn over, isn't it? But in readiness for it being trouble, I went up a bit. So those ones are on my usual, which is 2.25. This I've only just cast on just the other day. This is Ambah O'Brien's doing her Valentine's knit along. I can't remember what it's called. I will put that in the description. And I'm using Adriafil LED yarn for this. I'm doing she's doing like skinny scarves, and the idea is is it a palantine or a galantine she's doing, whatever. And the idea is, I think it's a palantine, is you make a scarf and then you gift it to someone. I don't really have anyone to gift it to, so I'm going to gift it to me. But I might have enough. When I was looking at the yarn quantity, it doesn't use up very much yarn at all. I haven't told you what I'm doing. I'm doing the Snaggletooth scarf. I've got the Snaggletooth shawl pattern, but I've also bought the skinny scarf version of it as well. It's a very nice pattern. I like those sort of geometric-y shapes. This does not have a name of the colour. Oh, I hate it when they do it. It's so boring, isn't it? It says it's 50 grams, 185 metres, and I think you only use something like 57. Was it something? Oh no, it can't be 57 metres. You didn't use an awful lot, I think, of yarn for this. But I think it's something like 180 all told. Anyway, I've got this nice red and this taupey colour, and they're both sparkly, and they've both got sort of multicoloured sparkles in. Well, the red's got more, yeah, no, they both do have the same sort of multicoloured sparkles in. And it's one of those, it's a chainette, and it's fuzzy, and it's lovely, and I have the most ridiculous, pathetic little stump to show you. Look, that's it. I've tied my ends together because otherwise they get on my wick, and that is all I've done. So it's literally just like a sort of zigzag of triangles up one side and up the other, and that's it. It should be super simple to do, and I should be able to knock that out in no time, but I've got so many things on. That's probably not going to be the case, is it? So that is it. That is it. All I really want from you if you feel like it. It's helped me choose what to take with me. I like to have a little knitting project for the train. Do you think I should take my Peace Rose garden socks for my... Because that's not bad. Yeah, maybe I'll take those on Friday when I go to Unravel. I've checked my ticket again today because they put out a thing saying that they're selling out fast for Friday. And then I just suddenly got the fear that I'd only sort of like imagined that I'd bought a ticket and hadn't actually bought a ticket. But I have. And I've checked my train again. I do have train tickets. Well, waiting to be collected. Yeah, so I have booked that. Everything is fine. But I have the fear. Or what would be the worst would be if you got to the train station and you couldn't collect your tickets. That would be terrible, wouldn't it? Well, I mean, I would buy new ones and get those ones refunded. But still, that would be a stress moment for me. So that is it, my loves, I think, for the knitting. No finished objects as yet. Surely though, it can't be long with the state of things being as they are. Tomorrow's my local knitting group, knitting natter group. The mister's working tomorrow now. He wasn't supposed to be working. So normally I'd stay at home with Lulu, my cat, because she gets very anxious if she's left on her own. She's not massively keen. But she does tend to have a snooze after lunch until about 4ish. And the knitting group's 2 till 4. So I'll probably get away with it. Yeah, I probably will still go. I was kind of looking forward to it. So I think I will still go. There's a local yarn store near me. I wanted to get a couple of balls of Stylecraft recreate and do, because Stylecraft's doing a knit along with a simple triangles shawl, and I fancied it. But can I get my act together to go up there? It's a bus ride away, so, and it keeps raining, which is what's stopping me from going. But now I'm kind of thinking, should I just wait for Friday? Not that anyone at Unravel's going to have any Stylecraft. But I could pop into Elfix, couldn't I? Because they sell commercial yarns. Maybe they'll have it. And I can just pick it up in there. But I should really support my local yarn shop, shouldn't I? It's a terrible, terrible conundrum. What would I do? Put the kettle on. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, before I go, do you want to see what book I'm reading? I've read recently. I read The Blind Assassin by Margaret Atwood. Didn't like it. Have I told you that before? Thought it was pretty boring. It was okay, much too long and a bit so yeah, maybe that was a bad Atwood to choose. I haven't read a Margaret Atwood before, I know. So yeah, maybe that was the wrong one to do as my starter. Quite boring. And then for the, do you watch the Piece for Peace podcast on here? You should, because I love Michael, he's ace. Yes, I've joined his Storygraph. He's on the Storygraph app, and he's got a book group there for read-alongs. So we are reading at the moment Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin, which is really good. I finished it. It's a really short book. It's like 150 pages, and I finished it already. And it was really sad though. Everything in it is really sad, tragic. The whole thing's tragic. So not really, even though it's about relationships, there was no sort of Valentine's feels there. So I need something a bit more cheerful. So instead of cheerful, what I'm listening to on my audiobook now is The Five, which is the story of the 5 women murdered by Jack the Ripper. Their stories. I'm only on the first one at the moment. I'm on Polly Nichols, and poor Polly, her husband did her wrong. She was from a really respectable working class, hard-working family, and then her husband did the dirty on her with the young pretty widow next door, and she just basically ends up homeless in the end. She leaves him, but it's Victorian London, so she's not really got, she's just left destitute really, and it's just really sad. Her life just sort of sinks into this, into like sleeping in Trafalgar Square and stuff. It's really horrible. And we know how it ends. So yeah, so that's not a very cheery read either. And then on one of the reading challenges, but that I'm on Goodreads and the Storygraph, because I like to make things difficult for myself. I was going to move just totally over to the Storygraph, but then I found I couldn't let go because all my friends are on Goodreads and they're not on Storygraph, so I've got to keep both going now, and now I'm addicted to both reading apps. So on Goodreads, for their reading challenge, I set myself a target of 49 books this year, and I've read 7, I think, so that's pretty good. So the 5 fits one of their one of their challenges, so that takes that box. And then on Storygraph, one of the book challenges I'm doing on there, one of their prompts is read a book with a colour in the title, and I'm trying to read from my bookshelves because I've got loads of books that I haven't read yet, and the only one that had a colour in it was Nikki French Blue Monday, which is a thriller about a kid that gets kidnapped, abducted. I don't know what happens to it yet, but this cover image doesn't look good, does it? And then 20 years later, another child's abducted, and they think it's linked. Apparently, I'm not very far into it. I'm less than 50 pages in. So that's not the most cheery read either. I do need to read something that will be more sort of light and pretty. So I'll get through these, hopefully, pretty quickly, and then something a bit more cheerful, I guess. Right then, I think I'm going to love you and leave you. I think this feels very much like time to put on the kettle and eat some chocolate digestives. I hope you've got chocolate digestives. Oh, I wish I could speak. I hope you also have some sort of delicious snackettes in the house. And I think we should both go now and get cracking with those. You have a good time, and I will let you know how I get on at Unravel when I see you next. Ciao.